I have extended teaching on purpose. I mean, even a course that it goes into several different weeks on this subject because it's a very misunderstood word. And purpose has become one of the most primary currencies of the personal development conversation. I mean, the questions are everywhere. I mean, what is your purpose? Have you found it yet? Are you living your purpose? Are you filling your cup? I mean, what's the unique thing you were put here on the world to do? And the industry has grown up around these questions, and it is enormous. It is, absolutely enormous. Books and courses and workshops, assessments, frameworks, coaches. They're all oriented toward the same promised destination. This discovery of the specific thing that is yours to do in the world, which once you find it, will provide the meaning and direction and satisfaction that your life has been lacking. The premise of this industry, which is so thoroughly embedded that most people do not recognize it as a premise, is that purpose is something that exists independently of you in some discoverable location somewhere, and that the work of living a purposeful life is primarily the work of finding this, as if purpose were a buried object that once located could be carried through the rest of your life as a permanent possession. You find the thing and you hold it and you live from it, done, right? People spend years, sometimes decades in the search. They do the assessments. They do the workshops. They read. They get coaching. They find and try different careers, different hobbies, different interests. They volunteer. They travel. They meditate. They journal. They attend the retreats. And many of them never find what they're looking for because the model of this process says that it's something to be found external to the self, locatable through sufficient searching, honestly is structurally flawed in a way that makes the search itself the problem. Purpose is not found, purpose is recognized, and the distinction between these two orientations is not semantic. It is the entire difference between a search that can go on forever and an encounter that requires a different kind of attention entirely. So the search for purpose, when it's organized around the idea of finding something external, produces several specific and consistent outcomes that are worth examining. The first is this perpetual sense of not yet having arrived, which is very lucrative for the industry. A person searching for an external object is, by definition, in a state of not having found it until the moment of discovery. And if the discovery never comes, the state is permanent, which is why so many people who have engaged seriously with the purpose conversation for significant periods of time, they still feel, despite all the work, that they've not quite landed on the thing, right? Because the model positions them as permanently looking and seeking and searching. The second outcome is the tendency to confuse purpose with a particular role or career or activity or interest. The search for purpose, when it produces an answer, almost always produces an answer that is a noun. I am a teacher. I am a healer. I am a creator. I am a leader. And the person organizes their sense of purpose around the role, which means their sense of purposefulness and usefulness is contingent on being in the role, which creates a version of the roles mask at the level of meaning. I am purposeful when I'm doing the thing and questionable when I'm not. And the third outcome is an evaluation of the hierarchy of activities. Once purpose has been defined in this model as a specific thing, everything that is not that thing becomes secondary. This is completely damaging and detrimental to life. The time spent on activities that are not on purpose becomes at best necessary maintenance of a life organized around the real thing, and at worst, a departure from the life one is supposed to be living. So you're just not able to live it, right? And the pressure this creates to always be doing the purposeful thing, to be organized around the identified purpose, produces the same anxiety as every other mask. The anxiety of the person who is always performing against the standard of what they're supposed to be and always potentially falling short. So, when I say purpose as recognition, Let me explain to you what I mean. The thing that is most genuinely yours to do in the world is not hidden from you in some external location. All right, I'm going to say this in a simple way. Your purpose and your only purpose is to know yourself and live as yourself. Now, how you find that, how you discover that, we've got to have that discussion. But the thing that is yours to do in the world is not hidden from you in some external location. It is the expression of who you actually are. And who you actually are is not something you discover by searching outside of yourself. It's something that becomes available as the masks that are covering it are addressed and understood and laid to rest. Purpose in this framework is not a destination to reach. It is an expression of the self that is already present, to know who you are and to live as that person. And it becomes recognizable not through the search, but through the clarity that identity work produces. And this is why people who have done genuine work on who they are often describe a specific experience in relation to purpose, not the dramatic discovery of the thing that they were put here to do, but acquired a recognition that what they have been doing all along, in some form or another, when they were most genuinely themselves, is the thing. Not a new thing, not something found through sufficient searching, not aligning a life under the habits of this thing, but something that was always there, always expressing itself in whatever spaces it was given, always the quality of the person's natural engagement when the performance was not required. And the work was not finding it. The work was clearing enough of the performance that it could be seen. The implication of this for the purpose conversation, I believe, is highly significant. If purpose is an expression of genuine identity rather than an external object, then the primary work of a purposeful life is not the work of finding, is the work of becoming genuinely available for what is already there, of addressing the masks well enough that the frequency underneath them can be expressed without the performance covering them up, of developing enough identity clarity that what genuinely wants to be expressed can be expressed in whatever domains, whatever forms that the current moment makes available. So what are you already expressing? Let me close with a different question than the one the purpose industry typically asks. Not what is your purpose, but this. In what moments in your life, as it currently exists, in what moments in your life right now as it exists, do you feel most genuinely yourself? Not most productive, not most admired, not most aligned with what you think you should be doing, but genuinely you, fully present, least taxed by distance between who you are performing and who you actually are. These moments are not random. There are moments when the frequency underneath the mask is expressing itself almost directly. And the pattern of these moments, examined honestly over time, tells you something that no purpose assessment or framework will ever give you. It tells you what is actually yours, not as a role or career or calling in the dramatic sense, as a quality of engagement, a way of being in the world that when you are in it feels like home. Purpose, then, understood this way, is not something you add to your life after you've found it. It is what your life is already expressing in its most genuine moments, and the work is not to search for it more and more and more outside of yourself. The work is to clear enough of the performance that these moments can expand and breathe, that the quality of true and genuine engagement can become more constantly and consistently available, and that the thing that has been expressing itself in glimpses can become the ground from which you operate. You've not been failing to find your purpose. You've been listening to the wrong egos trying to show it to you. And in that, you've been covering up the truth. And that is a very different problem with a very different solution. I'm James Tippins.